Good evening and welcome to our second episode of Ask the Tipples. We're back inside the 65 VW Beetle and we've gotten several questions. We thank you, everyone who sent questions in. We're going to try to answer 2 or 3 tonight. And looking at myself right now, I realize the older I get, the more I'm looking like Boyd Coddington. I don't know what's going on there. But all right, our first question comes to us from Monroe Central 8th grader Macy Parker. Thank you, Macy, for sending this in. And the question is, did either of you ever have a nickname, and what was it?
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I've had several nicknames. Tip, Tippy. Coach Ho calls me TIP. I like to put Notorious TIP in front of that. When we met at church camp, Marge and her friends used to call me Dimples for some reason.
Because you had
I
dimples.
don't know. So those are just a few. Mr. T, when I taught, several kids called me Mr. T. So, yeah, I've had some nicknames. How about you?
In school, I was obviously half pint because I'm not very tall.
And how tall are you?
4'10" and 3/4.
Without heels, and I don't see
Without
that
heels.
too often. Usually you're close to my height with those heels. So, okay, so half pint and?
Growing up, there was a book or a song called Marjorie Morningstar, so I heard that a lot at family gatherings.
And some people call you Margaret. Margaret.
In high school, I went by Margaret.
Margaret.
Enough that it made my teachers confused. And then there was a commercial from Palmolive where she had her fingernails soaking and she said, "Madge, you're soaking in it." So I got a lot of Madge in high school.
How about your maiden name was Oren? Anyone ever call you Marge or Margarine?
Yeah, I went through a little of that at church camp, but not too much anywhere else.
All right, great question.
Maybe Scott Rutherford if he was watching.
Thank you, Macy. Next question comes to us from Bristol, Tennessee. This is cool. We're getting out there. We're going viral. Aaron Newman, who is a Second West Wingets guy from Taylor, went to college with him. His question, how did you propose? Is that a question for me, I guess?
I guess.
Gosh, let me see. Here's the thing. Anytime that we get a restaurant that we call ours, the place we like to go, it seems to close.
I know.
And that's happened pretty much the whole time we were dating. Our first official date, was at a place called One Accord in Muncie. Loved that place, little Mexican restaurant. And you went in and it was like you were in the middle of a Mexican town. And the food was great. And these sopapillas, remember those? They had the honey that you put in them. You tore off the corner. But the cool thing is, to get your waiter back, you had a little flag that you raised on your table. But that place closed, and it's gone. It's bulldozed down, and there's something else there now. But that wasn't where I proposed. There was a place in Winchester, really cool place called the Stone Mansion. And really neat old house that they turned into a restaurant. And I think I took you there around Christmas time. I remember they had a huge Christmas tree by the stairway, and it's starting to rain now. I can hear it on top of the car. And had a really fancy dinner, and I had, of course, sweaty palms and everything, and I had that ring in my pocket. And at the end of dinner, I got down on one knee, and I remember that made the waitress cry. Do you remember that? What's going on? Oh, my goodness.
You actually surprised me. I had no idea.
Yeah, so I did a good job, right?
Yes, you did.
So that's how I proposed. Kind of a related question. This question from Dayton, Ohio. My friend Bart. Again, we're going viral. This is good. How long did you date before proposal? That's kind of a tricky question, because I think our first episode we said that, we met when we were 11. We wrote letters all through junior high and high school. And in high school, I can remember this vividly. We had 2 phones in our house. They were the kind that were hooked to the wall. and I didn't want anyone to hear this call, so I went upstairs to my parents' room where the second phone was, and I would pick up the phone. This was in high school. Think about what I was going to say to ask you out, and then I'd get half the number dialed, and I'd hang up. And I did that 2 or 3 times, and I finally got the nerve to call through, and I called you, and we talked, and I asked you, and you seemed excited, and you said, yeah, I'd like to go out with you. But wait, let me ask my dad. And then there was this long silence where you apparently went to talk to your dad. And then you came back to the phone, and what'd you say?
Nope.
No, my dad says I can't go out with you. What?
Well, in our defense, you hadn't been around for a while at church camp, so they had forgotten that you were same age as me. So
that pretty much shot me down for several years, and I didn't try again. We still wrote, but it wasn't until I was in college for your 21st birthday. I took you out actually to One Accord.
Yeah.
And we had an ugly winter, and the first time we set it up, they canceled classes, and there was drifts, and I think you were stuck in Muncie, and I was stuck at Taylor. But finally, we went out. So that's, and then, I guess we didn't answer the question, though.
We started dating officially probably in January, and you proposed in December.
Right. So 8, 9.
But
10
we were
months,
older.
and we had written letters to each other
Right.
since we were 11. So we, and here's a little advice for you youngins out there.
Don't use that word.
Youngins?
Yeah.
Or advice?
Youngins.
Oh.
They're not going to listen.
Okay. Here's some advice to anyone. Worry about the friendship first, right? Develop the friendship, and that's how it works, right?
Yeah.
That's how it works. Okay. You know what? I feel like we should just answer one more because we have another student. Monroe Central sophomore Hannah Coe. Thank you, Hannah. Her question is, what is something not many people know about you?
I was a live-in nanny in high school, and I was raised a preacher's kid.
I feel like my life's an open book. I don't have a lot
pretty much.
that people...
And some people don't know I have 2 brothers.
Yeah.
There's such an age span, you either know about the younger one or the older one.
Here's,
I'm not sure I claim either one, though.
Here's something I'll share. People don't know. When I was in high school, freshman or sophomore, my English teacher talked me into being in the school musical, Babes in Toyland. And I had a singing part, had some lines. Babes in Toyland. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but that's kind of, I think, out of character for me. Anyway, so also I was the school mascot, and if my friend Colleen, maiden name Singer, is watching this, she and I actually designed. She did the outfit part, sewed the outfit, and I did the head and the tail. Designed the mascot, kind of based on the San Diego Chicken, but our school mascot was the Blackhawks. And I was the very first official hairy hawk. Yeah, and I've seen recently they have a new hawk. So that's kind of cool to see that continuing. So, yeah, there's a couple things that most people don't know about me. So
I was in drama club with Todd Terrell. We graduated together.
okay, that's enough. Don't tell people.
You know,
Don't
he's
tell
so
people
much
that.
older looking than I am, though. And he is older than me, too, so.
Tell people that. Well, that's it. That's our second episode finished, and now it's kind of pouring raining, so we're going to go back in the house. By the way, if you've been following me on Facebook, this is self-inflicted Corona hula. Each day for the past, for 8 days in a row, I'm wearing a different Hawaiian shirt just to say, hang loose, folks. It's all going to be good. We're going to get through this. So hang loose, and we'll see you next time. Have a great night.